are live here, Fat Boy Fadeaway Sports, Variety Sports Network here. Warriors, Lakers, post-game, game 6. Casey, as I have it there, the champs are dead, unfortunately. Our team has gone down tonight. We did this last year, and we ran it all the way to the damn finals. Tonight, it comes to an end, though. The Warriors just did not have it. The shooting was pathetic. I don't know where to start. I'm going to give you the floor first. Your thoughts on the champs going down here to the Lakers, and it really wasn't a very close game. I would say much of the game here.
So I spoke about it, game 4. Effort, piss poor, awful. The energy level looked like it was just another regular season game. The legs looked tired. Every shot was short. 2 players that stepped up and going to shout them out was Kevon Looney and Dante DiVincenzo. Only 2 players that seemed like it was a game where your season ends. Klay Thompson, horrific, terrible. It was just one of those games where you just want to forget. Game 6 Klay, that kind of put a damper to that.
Is that officially dead now?
After this performance, I hope no one YouTubes Game 6 Klay because this might show up. 3 for 21, I believe it was. 4 for 22, somewhere in that realm. Steph Curry, he tried. He gave it his all. Jordan Poole, Ben Simmons Jr., I don't know what the hell happened. He just forgot how to play basketball. 12 minutes, 0 points, 4 fouls. Kind of came along a little bit, but it was just atrocious to watch. Just a collective effort as a team that I didn't think that they wanted to play. And Steph Curry spoke about this. The culture was not there.
It wasn't the whole year.
You know, it just was one of those things where, and I take a deep breath right now because, you know, this is tough, man. I'm a diehard Warriors fan, and you are too. But just the performance that they put out, they didn't show up like the Suns, but it
was almost Tyler has it here. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. And Adam said it best. I was texting with him, Casey, during the game. It's like it's almost like they thought they had a game to play with here. I mean, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the energy was not there. Klay Thompson, again, right from the beginning of the game. You know, I'm taking notes on the game right from the start. And right away, are you freaking forcing shots? Like, as a Warriors fan, that's the part that I'm looking for right away. He forces shots right from the get-go of the game, and he's already in a slump. And then right away, he gets open shots, and he's not making that. The man was like, 1 for 12 at one point in the game? I mean, he, as good as he has been, and he got the Warriors 4 championships. I mean, you say all that. This series, he was a big reason that we were not able to get over the top. And the Warriors are really going to kick themselves for the game 4 loss they had. That was the killer in this series for sure.
I don't think it was the game 4 loss there. I think it was the game 1.
Well, that too, but I kind of expected that one. But the Klay Thompson angle, to your point, you can't go 1 for 12 in a closeout game, in an elimination game where everybody says you're game 6 Klay. And you said this, and I thought you made a great point in the last podcast. You said Green stepped up in game 5 to pick up Klay. You said that, and he didn't do that tonight. He wasn't able to pick up the slack. And it doesn't mean we don't love Klay, but he just wasn't there tonight, and we needed that from him, especially with Wiggins having that rib injury at the start of the game.
Yeah, one of the big things that, you know, I mean, you spoke about, like, you know, before this podcast, you know, just over the phone through Texas. I think that James Wiseman trade was terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, GP2 played pretty well, but you can't be 7-1. I mean, GP2 is 6'3". I'm not saying he would have fouled out in like 20 minutes against Davis, but I mean, every championship the Warriors have won, they've had a JaVale McGee, they've had a Pachulia. There's someone that's 7 feet tall. Looney, you're asking a lot of him. Like, I mean, he's expended so much energy, and he plays 82 games a year, and it's just tough for me to watch, you know.
And they had the right matchup last year.
They
Like
did.
they needed a big man for this type of series. They didn't really have
Yeah.
that last year. To your point in that regard, and I thought Casey Kerr. I thought it's not that this didn't cost them the game, but I thought we could have put Looney in much earlier in the game. They get off down to an 18-7 start right away, and from that point, they are basically dead in the game. I, the part with the Lakers, I got to give them credit, is LeBron had like that Draymond energy in Game 6 last year, where he felt like he was like totally locked in on their mission. So the Lakers were completely locked in, and then you have Curry and Thompson, the two best players on the team, just making absolutely nothing in the whole game. Like, I mean, if we look at the box score, honestly, you look at it, you say immediately, who is the best player on the team? You say Curry because he ends up with 32 points, but it didn't feel like the same Curry 32. You know what I mean? It just did not have that impact. To me, it's DiVincenzo right away. He just sticks out like effort, energy, love, passion, desire for the freaking game, other than the two missed free throws. But it was not there. And from the champs perspective, going out as a fan, you would like to see them, with knowing the dynasty might end, you would have liked to see them go out a little bit tougher in this series. And there's a lot of question marks. We'll get into that too. Tons of question marks now going into the offseason.
Yeah, and just speaking about this game in general, not the series, they looked old. They looked old. They didn't have the right pieces around them. And Kuminga, I don't know. I mean, they traded away Wiseman. I don't understand Steve Kerr's situation with playing time. Moses Moody giving Jordan Poole, I don't know if that's a GM ownership, you have to play him type of thing, but I mean, he was god awful, man. Like, Moses Moody should have got those minutes, and I don't know why he did not. It was just confusing all around. It seemed like what you said, Darren. It seemed like a regular season game. They had another game to play with. Moses Moody had been showing out for the last 2 games at least. I just didn't really understand. Like, if you
I think
lose,
Adam's
you
right
go
there,
home.
Casey.
If you lose, you go home. There is no tomorrow. Like,
they left it, and we talked about it beforehand. He didn't even have him in to start the fourth quarter there. And
Steph Curry,
when they were down by 14 points there to start it. I thought that was a bad decision there. I won't say it's hard for me to say Kerr's a bad guy. I think Kerr's a great coach overall, but I will say this: he definitely, to Adam's point here, he did not coach this. That wasn't his best coaching series of all time. This wasn't it.
Absolutely.
There were some moments in the series where I thought he could have played Peyton more in the fourth quarter. He could have gone to Peyton earlier in the series, like a game 1 in that instance more when you have a chance coming off a big 7-game series where he didn't play as much. I thought that was a minute there. I don't know. It wasn't the main reason. I think the players, though, ultimately, Case, when you lose by 24 points, it falls on them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It always falls on the players, and they'll tell you that too. I think Darvin Ham pulled the Tyronn Lue. Like, he outcoached Steve Kerr. He pulled all the right.
Or is it LeBron James, as I said? LeBron James coached that.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, though, Lonnie Walker in that game, I mean, he saved them. That was crucial for them, because without him, I think the Warriors would win this series. But Austin Reeves, it gives them confidence. Anytime you play at home, we all know. I mean, role players play better at home. And it was just so.
What do you think about the 42 free throws? So Tyler said the floppy. Me and Hana were complaining about that the whole time. Like, there is a little bit of that. I mean, we're Warriors fans, so we're saying there's floppy. It's going back and forth. I know that. We're going to talk about more Sunday, but there was a lot of free throw shot. The Lakers were way more aggressive. I mean, they were definitely trying to get into the paint earlier in the game. You could feel it, and the Warriors gave no resistance. Their defensive intensity was not there. And Casey, that plays to that point where Wiseman in a series like that, he doesn't fit Kerr's offense. And so, like, Kerr does not play guys if you cannot do what he wants on offense. That's what's proven. And Wiseman was lost at times in the season, but definitely for a wild card and a chip to throw out there, he would have been good to have. I don't think that with that said, right, we got to say Peyton wasn't the problem.
Like, no, he wasn't at all.
It's almost like, hey, we should have just signed him last year.
No, it wasn't GP2's fault. He's just
signed him last year.
He was born 6'3". James Wiseman was born 7'1".
We had Wiseman sign him in the offseason. You had him sign him, pay the luxury tax.
I mean, you gave up 5 second-round picks for GP2. I mean, but you let him go. So, I mean, You think about Curry went 32, 11 for 28, 4 for 14 from threes. Klay went 8 points, 3 for 19, 2 for 12 on 3 points. Draymond went 9, 9, and 3. There's no way you're going to win this game. It's impossible. I mean, Jordan Poole giving you basically nothing. I mean, he had almost more fouls than he did points. I mean, there's no way that a championship. I mean, Wiggins, to his credit, he played with basically, I would say, a fractured rib, and LeBron James tested that early.
Oh,
He was
very early.
pound-
That was
oh,
smart.
he pounded him in the paint. Just
No, he did, no doubt about it. He definitely got him there. Oh, hey, Case.
like the is
Hey, come back in there in a second. Hey, the thing with we were talking about the Warriors being dead there is I think they got tested there really early though on in the game there when the other key factor of the game was Reeves. We were about to go to him in a second. Was Reeves was a big factor in the series. He hits that game. He hits the half court shot to put him up by 10 there at halftime. Just a real killer if you're if you're on the Warriors there and you have a chance there with a 7-point lead. You're down by 7, you feel like you maybe have a chance to get right back into it. And he kind of, he hits that buzzer beater to put you up by 10. Immediately there we go. You kind of feel like you're in the hole again. Our guy Savage from 3, the Hardaway kind of made a good tweet in that point where he says it just kind of feels like it's the Lakers kind of season at that point, or their round or their series. And that's what it felt like. It felt like they were getting the breaks. They were getting the calls at the right times. They were the aggressive team at the right times. And the Warriors just weren't able to answer that call over and over again. And that was the frustrating part about it. Let's see what Adam has to say again here. He says again, that's on Kerr, that last shot of the half. Yeah, no, I agree. That was a big deal. Why are we taking that? Why are we taking a shot with? That's the one thing we always say we agree with Bob Fitzgerald, right? Take the shot at the end of the half with no time left. They were not able to do that in that period there, and the Lakers did want it a little bit more. They desired the game a little bit more in this situation. Hopefully, my brother will get on here in a second. There, hopefully, he'll just sign back on here, Casey, in here in a few minutes. But if not, I'll take us home here with it. Hopefully you guys can comment in. I'll bring them up here on the podcast. We'll get through this together here, Warriors Nation. This isn't something that is easy. When you have this team that you've kind of been watching for 10 years with Green, Thompson, and Curry, you saw that run start in 2013. You get Looney into the factory. You have Coach Iggy on the sideline there with his hats always there at the sideline. I don't. It was tough to see him go out like this. I think that's the hardest part here. As a hardcore fan, to see just that lack of effort, and they weren't. And at the end of the day, they're just not able to get that bench play like they were able to get in the past. They weren't able to get that from enough players. DiVincenzo, yes, he did show up today in the game, but they weren't able to get enough from Poole. They weren't able to get enough from those other guys. In this situation where the Lakers were able to get enough from their bench players or enough from the guys that started, and the Warriors just weren't tonight. So Tyler Harris how's that on Kerr that players jacked up shots? No, I agree with Tyler on that from the sense of I don't think it's all on Kerr. I think it ultimately falls on the players here more than anybody else, Casey. It ultimately falls on the players more than it does Steve Kerr, as you're back with us here. And I don't think we're trying to say that to you, as you know that. I think we're just saying like Kerr could have tried to done things a little bit more imaginary in this series than he was in other ones. And I think if you think about it, this is one of the series that he lost where it feels like either got outcoached by them or it's just as good as LeBron outcoached him a little bit, like on the floor. Like, I don't know, like they just weren't able to perform well enough. And what I mean by LeBron on the floor is like, well, he's a player. He ultimately can determine it. What I mean is early in the early round series. Today, LeBron was super focused. Let's get to what Adam has to say here because Tyler, as the coach, you make it really clear to take the last shot no matter what. Hey, we're all teammates. You believe it or not, the four of us are all teammates. We got that here, tuned it in. Casey, you're back with us here. I was kind of talking on Austin Reeves a little bit, that killer shot at halftime and his play overall. He was just better than anybody else. The Warriors he was better consistently than any Warriors third player they had out the last few games of the series.
Oh, it's kind of like when I yelled at Adam, and he'll love this. Hey, you're wide open. Take the damn shot to tie the game, my brother. It's only me and you. There ain't no role players here. Just shoot the damn shot and nothing but net. Man, I loved it.
Hey, can I say real quick about that half-court shot? Mark Jackson, we had a lot of controversy, but what he said, like, well, if he would have took another shot, another dribble, he wouldn't have got the shot off. Well, my God, man, he was already past half court. At that point, you have to shoot the shot. What are you not trying to get a shot up at that point? So I just said that point that part I didn't like. Hey, Case, what do we think about the dynasty here part of it? The three of them together. I was saying that part is a struggle for me here. In time, Adam wants to it was a win, by the way. There.
No, it wasn't Adam because Jesse nailed down 2 shots.
It was the tougher one. It was the bad one.
One the tie and one the win it. Kevin Bacon let us down in the corner, and you know what? I remember this.
I like that you can say Kevin Bacon and not the real last name. He keeps it anonymous. I like it that way there with it. Casey, let's get back to the part of it here. Now that the season's over, right? It ended. They lost the Lakers in the second round. You can't run back the same team, can you?
Not the same team. I think you can run back the core. I think Klay, Steph, Dre.
You think they run them back then, huh?
I think one of your best things that you texted me was trading Jordan Poole for DeAndre Ayton. If that could ever happen, I would love that. If you could throw some picks their way. Oh my!
Well, you called Jordan Poole Ben Simmons Jr. How about Jordan Poole or Ben Simmons?
I would even take at this point. I might take it.
No, I hear you on that. I just think that's something now that we're headed into the postseason here or into the off season. The Warriors, they're gonna have to. Is the dynasty now dead in this sense? Is it going to be broken up the big three? Kerr said he doesn't think it will be. That makes me think that it won't be a little bit. So, but it was something that definitely crossed my mind a little bit hearing it. What did you also think, real quick, back to the game? We talked about the size and how much it mattered with like
so small.
Wiseman not playing. Wiseman not playing a game here. Peyton only got 10 minutes. I was going to go back to that, and he only got 4 points. He wasn't very good tonight in this game at all. We got our
was he? I thought he was good early.
I thought the guy that maybe I thought Kerr might have trusted a little bit longer in the series, and I thought he was going to based on the last series, but he never really gave him full run was Moody. But, I mean, Moody was getting overpowered a little bit in transition by LeBron. I mean, who isn't at times? But he did play solid, I thought, in the series overall. I thought he was maybe he maybe out of anything was something you gained from the playoffs. If you're looking at this from the Warriors standpoint, you maybe have something more Moody. But, man, Kuminga's a massive question mark going into next year.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just didn't really understand, like, the thought process of putting in Jordan Poole when you've struggled that hard. It's like kind of like a pinch hitter in baseball. You put a guy in that's, been like, he has certain matchups. And he was 0 for 12, basically, Jordan Poole, going in, hypothetically, but I almost, it sounds so desperate, but I would have played Anthony Lamb or Patrick Baldwin Jr. I really would have.
That is as desperate as you get when you're doing that. You're throwing Tony Lamb
if you go 0 points, Darren, 12 minutes and 4 fouls.
Hey, you got a couple baskets.
That is hard to do. 0, 12, and 4.
Tyler Sage here, Casey. It sounds like right here he would get rid of Klay then. He said get rid of all except for Steph. Yeah. Draymond can't guard any of the
Tyler's had a couple teddies.
He's had a stop, Casey. Tyler says stop, Casey, with that. Maker Miss League, Mark Jackson here. I like that conversation. I have to get on that one time. They had a good one on Realism Sports, Tyler and Nico. I definitely have to get on that one. No, I think when we get down to we go back to the game here for a second, is Anthony Davis was really engaged as well in this series. And I said that was the biggest problem that I had with the Warriors going into this series. And a lot of people took the Lakers or the Warriors in 5 or Warriors in 6. And I was kind of stunned because I was like, have you guys not seen the Warriors play against this team for the last 3 years? Like, They do not win. They do not win in Staples Center or whatever the heck it's called now. They don't shoot well at all there. Think about all the regular season games they have blown there on Sunday afternoons against crappy Laker teams too back in the day. This is not the team they match up well. Then you add Davis to the factor when Casey, I said they don't have a big, right? Looney's decent, but he's not going to be able to do enough to offset Davis. I mean, to me, that's the biggest factor when you come down to the series. It's Davis over anybody else.
Well, and I think to Darvin Ham's credit, he took Vanderbilt out of the starting lineup and put Dennis Schroeder in there, which opened up the floor and made a big difference, I think. Just because Vanderbilt was Tony Allen-esque. He couldn't hit a shot from the corner, and Schroeder was, I wouldn't say lights out, but I mean,
he got ejected.
Changed the game.
What do you think of that ejection? What do you think the announcers? They're like, so Hana and I was with Terrell thoughts with that. Hana was like, and I agree. She was like, he was taunting. I was like, well, maybe Draymond taunts a little bit, but I can accept that one. What did you think about? I thought that was a really weak injection by the NBA. We're going to get into this more on Sunday too, but my gosh, that was a terrible injection. But I think Schroeder did deserve it for his floppy to load in this series.
I think I think they were just tired of him. Like, they're just like, man, you're doing like so much, like just over and over. And that's kind of how I felt like when I threw the ball at Tony, in Silver Fox. I'm over it, man. Like,
you're done. Put a fork to me. Put a fork to me.
Like, I mean, I didn't even throw it that hard, but I mean, it's just like the refs have enough of you, and it's time for a change. And it's just, it gets overwhelming. And as much as I hate Jeff Van Gundy, it's like one of those things where I'm so tired of this. Like, these guys are 200 pounds, 180 to 280. You can't get thrown that hard. Like, I'm just tired of the embellishment. I'm with Jeff Van Gundy, and I very rarely agree with him. But, man, it's got to stop at some point, man. Like, just play basketball, man. If you get hit, you get hit. But it's just, it's so... I mean, football players, are you kidding me? Like, this is like...
No, it's soft. It is, and they don't let them make contact. I agree with you, and I agree with Adam here with the Warriors named Major P. And that's where the two timelines, Casey, those two timelines never fit with the Warriors. They tried that thing with the two timelines. It did not work on it. Our guy Terrell here says because he was clamping down on Steph. Yeah, Steph did have an off night. Steph definitely wasn't there tonight. Like, he had the 32 points, but I felt like, you got to admit, like, from the first quarter on, it just felt like it was different, like the way he was having to get him. His shots were way off. He was started like 1 for 6. The floater game that he was on was off. He missed a few bankers. Every time they needed a big basket, he wasn't able to deliver like he usually is before. I don't know, like, how do they get a big three around him? Go ahead.
Because Klay Thompson takes shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. It's like, how are you supposed to get in a rhythm? If you miss 5 in a row, I know you're a great player, a Hall of Famer, but at some point it's like, man, like, if you keep losing and you keep playing the slots, you might want to change a different machine. Like, go to the next one, change up, like, whatever you got to do. It's just, to me, to start that game, Klay kind of, he put him in a hole, man. I mean, if you go 1 for 7 to start in the first quarter, I know you're going to shoot, but, like, dude, Tatum the other night,
3 for 9.
Shooter's gonna shoot 1 for 14, but he's gonna come up in the fourth quarter. But there was rhythm to it. It just, there was no fuel to it, and it's just like, he played terrible the last 3 games. There was just no, everything was short. It was off. I mean, they were wide left, they were wide right. It's not like you're hitting front rim or back iron or they're in and outs. They were awful. Like, they were not there.
Noah level. Got it. Got
Glasses. Glasses ass.
Got it. Glasses level there. There's some glasses level there. Open gym basketball right there with that one.
It's like when Tyler came back from his retirement.
He came over out of a day.
That's how Cavani.
Tyler, did you want Klay back next year, by the way, as well? Like, you did answer me. Did you want the
I want them all back. I told you that. I want the whole
Well,
three
Tyler
back.
did that. You can make it clear there. So I get that you want them back, all back.
I mean,
that
Kevon
means, Casey,
Looney
that
played
means they're
like
paying
Tyler
Klay a lot of money again.
What's that, my man?
They're gonna have to pay Klay a lot of money again.
I would pay him.
Michael Thompson, point shaving anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would get if you can package and trade Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins for DeAndre Ayton, campaign, and maybe two first round picks. I'd do it.
Man, I'm
just tired of Jordan Poole. Am
I the only one that's gonna have to defend Jordan Poole in this thing?
Probably. Tyler was right. I tried to speak Jordan Poole and I tried to defend him. His defense is so bad. Like, I mean, come on. Like, if Austin Reeves is killing you, D'Angelo Russell, I mean, think about these guys that are just like getting paid $100 million less.
And his fouls are so bad at times, like Tyler was saying last time. Like that one on LeBron, that was like so unnecessary. Why are you hugging the man?
Oh my God. Yeah, no. I mean, like there's at some point, Darren, you try and then there's a fake it to make it. You're not even trying, man. Like, come on now. Like there's at some point, like there's discipline, there's where you play. And at the grand scheme of things, he won a championship. He got his money. Does he really need any more motivation to play? I don't know. It didn't seem like it.
I don't know. I still think Poole has a spot on the team, but let's say this: I think the Warriors would give him up, obviously, if there was a deal out there for them to get better, and if there was for some way they could get Ayton for him, they would. But that goes all the way back to Wiseman. It goes all the way back to there. Why the heck you're trading a 7'1" big guy when all you know is he couldn't run your offense efficiently? When in a series like this, it doesn't matter. You just need size out there to help a little bit with it because AD's not stretching the floor like that. Wiseman would have been helpful in a situation like that. I'm going to say that till the end. I even think Kuminga would have been more effective in a series here in some way here, just with his athleticism on the lobs.
If I was Kuminga, I'd demand a trade.
No, he can't demand a trade. He's not good enough to do that.
No, I mean, I would. If they sign Darren, so I'm gonna go with this. If they extend Klay, I'm out.
Do you think Klay has to take a pay cut though, right?
After tonight and after
he can't take a max deal.
No, hell no. I mean, if he does,
he wasn't a max player.
If he does, he's going to bury himself in a rotten team.
Does this help my Reggie Miller is better than Klay Thompson case? That was what, remember I said Reggie Miller is better than Klay Thompson? I always said that was my case, so I get killed for it. I get killed for it as a Warriors fan.
I mean, I don't know. That's a close one, Darren.
He was open.
Yeah, I would say Reggie's pretty close to it, man. But Reggie didn't have a torn Achilles and a ruptured ACL, So.
He did lose a season to a fight, though.
Sure, he lost at the Cheryl, I'm sure.
He did lose to a fight. All right, Case. Yeah, we got a few more minutes here. This is going to be one of our last Warriors direct post games, obviously. Man, here we go. We got Lakers fan here. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in with the comment. We got it out. We can take it here. Let's effing go. The Lakers always win. We are winning the chip undefeated. Well, you know what, man? You can go straight to you know where. But congratulations on your win for that one. You guys outplayed the Warriors in this series, man. You guys were awesome. You guys played, like we said, unfortunately, they wanted it more. I said this matchup was a concern because of that, but he's right in that regard. We got to take it, right? They ended. I thought the Warriors would be able to take this game in 7. I wanted to beat the Lakers for fans, just like Daniel here. Is that Daniel Briare? No, it's Barry. All right, that was maybe our cousin somewhere. We got out there. We got Daniel out there. But I wanted that, you know what I mean? I want to be able to have that trash talking over the Lakers, over LeBron James, who just seems to have our number. Bring back Durant. Whatever it takes at this point. Maybe, Casey, that's the case to the Suns. We trade. We get Durant in the deal. I trade him in division. That doesn't seem very smart, but I don't know, man. Like, as we start to kind of look at moving forward here with it, you got any kind of final thoughts on the season, the game here? Anybody stand out? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those years where it was a trying year. They won the championship last year. A lot of players and a lot of people from the media all over the world didn't think the Warriors had even had a chance of contending. They pulled off a miracle. They were down 2-1, came back, won it, just miraculous fashion. Steph Curry, I think, a little worn out just from last year, giving his all.
Game 7.
Truly just one of the most iconic players that will ever play the game of basketball. It's been a pleasure to watch. Anyone that takes his games for granted is foolish. The shots he makes, the difficulty, Steve Kerr, just a player, a coach, all the champions he won. Draymond Green, probably maybe the best competitor we've ever seen besides Dennis Rodman. Klay Thompson, cool as cool can be. This
Not
year
tonight.
was a struggle. Yeah, no, he was cool as cool can be. But, we need to appreciate the greatness that the run that they've had. It's almost been a decade.
No, I know. And that's what kind of hurts about the loss, I feel like. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no,
We
it
wanted
does.
them to extend it.
Absolutely. And, the new players coming in, I think Jordan Poole,
Screw Mark
Kuminga, Lamb.
Screw Mark.
Oh, screw Mark Jackson.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just like,
No, I hear you.
I don't think the new generation appreciates how much hard work these guys have put in. Like, day in and day out, you got to be the first one in the gym, last one in the gym. And I don't think they're actually – I think that's
Do you think they make a big trade here to Adam's point? Like you're saying, Curry's still in his prime, right? Like you're still saying that. Like he still has some years left. Maybe not his prime, I should say, but he still has probably a year or two left of really good basketball before we start to think of him in the Chris Paul era type of stuff. Do you think they need to go out and get him some help and make an immediate big trade?
I don't know if about a big trade is necessary, but what I was trying to get at is the effort level. They don't need DiVincenzo type players. They need a B player. And I think Klay's kind of come a C+, Draymond C+. Not all the time, but they can play at an A level.
Yeah, I get you.
But it's just as watching this game, it was really tough because I felt like Steph Curry was just like, I'm on my own right now.
Yeah.
Like there's no one else that can help me out, put this ball in the bucket besides DiVincenzo. And that can't be your second best option in a game 6.
No.
It's not happening.
No, and to get to some of our comments here with it, Poole will never be the same after that punch out. He might not be. That might have been the final blow there in that regard. The Rocky got to on that one. Like you said, Curry still has some good left here. Mark Jackson, again, I'm going to – if you let me on, I will have a different argument than Nico and then Tyler had on regarding Mark Jackson. I'll give you a different version of it. He thinks Mark Jackson should be the head coach here. I think what Mark Jackson –
Oh, he should be a head coach.
Well, he should be a head coach. What he did good with the Warriors is he did instill confidence in them. Like that was the number one thing he did was instill confidence in the Warriors and in their best players. But as they grew on, as he started to be there longer, I always say this, right? You have to get along with your boss. He did not get along with his boss, which was the owner. That's an issue in basketball. I'm not saying he shouldn't have a job as a result. I'm saying that was a problem with it, and that was obvious, right? Remember all the looks remember that weird look Lacob had at the in that Clippers series in Game 1, even when they won? It's like famous, the look Lacob gives.
It was kind of like Roz Gold on Woody and Jimmy Butler. Get this shit away.
Exactly. Like, get that out of here. So I'm just saying to me, it's a little bit more than just him on the court, but I don't think he had enough there. And he was a good coach there for the Warriors. But Kerr obviously was better. I think that's quite obvious based on the run that Kerr is able to take him to. And if you watched as many games as we did with it leading up to it, Kerr just took them to a different level offensively. And Bogut did not believe in him at all. Mark Jackson, that was a huge issue. Remember, Bogut and him did not get along. Remember that being a big issue. Remember Bogut? Remember you ripped on Bogut every time he could get a chance the next year because he was broadcasting.
Hey, but Darren, to your point, every year the Warriors have won the World Championship. Has there not been one 7-footer?
Say that again?
Every year that the Warriors have won a championship, they've had one 7-footer.
Well, Looney last year?
Looney's not 7 feet.
That's what I'm thinking about, and they won last year. So, that's why I feel like – because Wiseman
was on the team.
He was on the roster, but he didn't play.
I mean, they have Pachulia. They have
McGee. That doesn't count.
It counts. Damn straight it counts.
Austin Bears out. Where's he out?
Hey, every inch counts, my brother.
That's why it's a primetime show, folks. All right. So we got – if we go real quick here, Dan, then we'll get out of here with it. It was also disappointing to see Russell come back and burn the Warriors a little bit. And I thought that was kind of fun. He did have some good games against the Warriors. He had some nice floaters tonight, but it just means he was a consistent shooter. And I felt like if he was open for a three, he was going to make them for the most part. He had a couple bad games, but that's Russell. But I thought he had 4 good ones, and that's to me pretty good from him.
Yeah, no, I mean it was solid. I mean, I wouldn't say solid was the correct word, but I mean, he hit a couple shots here and there, but I mean, he did enough to hold his own. But to me, it was just Darvin Ham outcoached Steve Kerr. He played the right. As soon as I saw Schroeder in the lineup, I was like, damn, he pulled an Iguodala. He matched up correctly, and Steve Kerr didn't make the adjustment. But to the extent of Steve Kerr, how many players are going to play? But as I saw Jordan Poole get these minutes, I was like, you know what? Darvin Ham actually, I truly would say a 4-time NBA champ as a coach. Darvin Ham pulled the right strings, and Steve Kerr did not. Kuminga, Moody, playing Poole, playing, JaMychal Green after his hot start. Someone's not going to replicate it twice. I mean, just because you hit the jack-tack table and, you hit $100,000 don't mean you're going to hit it twice. So
D'Lo's definitely better than Poole, but Poole has the same type of energy. Like he can bring it at times. Yeah, but was Russell an all-star at one point? I don't know. Like I'd say they're basically kind of the same type of player in that regard. Yeah, definitely Kerr over Mark Jackson in any regard there. There's no doubt about it. I would take that one all day, every day of the week. Even though with Kerr losing, I got to disagree with my brother there as we wrap this thing up here. Warriors lose, fall to the Lakers, 122-101. We're here. I'm Darren Briare here. Fatboy Fadeaway Sports brought to you here at Variety Sports Network. Wrapping up the Warriors season here, post-game show. Appreciate the guys commenting in, making the show entertaining, making it fun there. Appreciate your guys' thoughts there. Final thoughts here on the series, on the Warriors. You'd just like to see them go out better in a game 6, in an elimination game. So one thing you'd like to see a little bit more from your guys is that you get top-notch effort. It was disappointing to see game 6 Klay. That's officially dead. He's had a few good ones, no doubt about it, but he's also had some real stinkers out there. So I think we have to acknowledge that. It'll be very interesting what the Warriors do next year with Klay Thompson. And if they move forward with him, if he gets the max deal, does Draymond stay with the team? Does he get the max deal? We've talked about Poole a little bit. So it's going to be very interesting how the Warriors handle their free agency going forward. I appreciate Adam tuning in here with us all through the Warriors post games here. One of my best friends out there. He's a huge Warriors fan. Me and him have gone to many games together over the years. Half these tickets on the wall, he's probably gone with me on them. So Adam, I appreciate you tuning in. I always know you have the good Warriors knowledge. We have the passion. Ticketmaster over at the radio store there, or over at the CD store, getting tickets back in the day. So I appreciate you tuning in, man, giving your comments here on the Fat Boy Fadeaway Sports post-game shows here. Terrell, obviously you at the Realism Sports Always appreciate your comments throughout the Lakers and the Warriors post game, even back to the Kings Warriors post game. So really appreciate your feedback and always your comments there with it. It's always a lot of fun having you with it. And always the other guy, even this Lakers guy, we got Daniel. Appreciate that you even commented here. So good luck against the Nuggets. So let's go there for just a second here. The Nuggets Lakers, what an interesting series if we do move forward. Jokic against Davis, LeBron, against basically everybody else on the Nuggets. What a series we have. I think this was the championship series in the bubble. I believe it was Lakers versus Nuggets when the Lakers got him here. It'll be very interesting how the Lakers are able to go against Jokic. Can Davis do it again against the big man, who's probably the best player in the game right now? I don't think it's close, but I think he's definitely on a roll right now. This is definitely his year. It's unbelievable he wasn't voted top 5 by this guy, Mark Jackson, here in the MVP discussion. I definitely want Nuggets. I want Heat for sure. The Heat, if we go to the Eastern Conference, we got Heat, Sixers, and we have Boston in the finals next year. Speaking of that, the finals, least watched finals ever. Yes, this might be it. If it was Nuggets versus Heat, least watched, it might be the worst ever there. I would definitely agree with that one. It probably wouldn't be your highest rated one, but it would be very interesting for hardcore basketball fans like us. I definitely don't want the Lakers, so we know that for sure. But I do think the Nuggets have a great chance to beat them as the home court advantage. The Lakers are now starting to move on more and more in the series. It'll be interesting tomorrow, though. Sixers at Boston. If the Sixers can bounce back after that tough loss at home, and they could steal another one in the Garden. So a lot to look forward to still with the NBA playoffs. We'll still be with you on the post games there with it. Hope to have you guys joining us for those as well. Again, another frustrating loss for the Warriors. Not the way we wanted the season to end. 122-101. Appreciate everything the guys brought to us this season. It was fun to watch them. But not the way we wanted to go out for sure there with it. We got Lakers versus Celtics, is Terrell's call with it. Wins enough. We need another Lakers-Celtics match. Is that another one? We want the Celtics to win that one. Is that what we want, Terrell? We want the Celtics to beat the Lakers here in that situation. I'd be okay with that, a Celtics win over the Lakers, believe it or not. I think I definitely would still hate the Lakers more than I would the Celtics. It's just you can't root for the team you lost to. It's just that's the way it goes. So I definitely got to have the Lakers go out at this point right now. But it'll be very interesting if the Sixers can bounce back. I had them to winning that series. But again, back to this Warriors-Lakers game. A lot to get into next season for the Warriors from their standpoint. Just a lot of decisions to be made, a lot to be taken care of. Anybody but the Lakers. I agree. Anybody but the Lakers. Come on, Nuggets. Show up. Make a finals for the first time. Nico out there, far into the bench podcast. Jimmy, can you guys make it? I know you're out there. You're listening somewhere. Can you guys make the finals? Please, I'll be rooting for you guys over the Lakers. We'll definitely not be pulling for them. The Heat are just on fire. They have the best coach, and maybe they have the best playoff player left, if you think of it that way. The guy that performs the best in the playoffs, Butler. Is he better than LeBron maybe still at this point? Who knows? So I think Butler he's geared up to go again. A Lakers-Heat rematch, I don't like that again for the Heat, so I don't want to see that. I want to see Nuggets for sure in that regard. But a lot of basketball still left to be played here. Unfortunately, no more left for the Warriors. No more Lakers-Warriors post games. Like I said before, I appreciate everybody that's commented before. Please subscribe to the channel. We're doing the best we can to get as many subscriptions as possible. I'd love to get to 200. We're at 136 right now, so spread the word. We'd love to get any help in that regard. We're just trying to put up as much good content as we can, and try to give you Warriors fans out there, basketball fans out there. We're really passionate about the game. So that's the perspective I wanted to give to you guys over these post games here immediately after the game, with me not even thinking twice about it, just kind of reacting. So that's why I appreciate all those comments that we've had during the show. So guys, we'll see you here probably for a post game here in a few days regarding some other teams though. Until then, I'm Darren Briare. Thanks, Casey, for joining me. Warriors, thanks for the season. Curry, Thompson, Green, if it's not back next year, we appreciate the run. Till next time, we'll see you guys Sunday on the Fat Boy Fadeaway. Peace.